Hello and welcome to this new Android development tutorial. This is part 1 on how to make a music player for Android. So let's start. We begin by opening Android Studio, then we will click on Start a new Android Studio project. Then we'll click on Empty Activity and then on the Next button. As the name of this application, we will write Music Player. Okay, so we have the name. Now make sure that the language you select is Java, and the minimum API level, this time we will select 14. Of course, we can change this later if we need to. We will click on Finish and we will wait for the IDE to set up our Android Studio project. So the Android Studio project is now being set up by the Android Studio IDE, so we will wait for it. And I also want to tell you that I will be running the application on an emulator in the left side of the screen. You can do it in an emulator too if you want, or you can actually run it on a real Android device. So basically what we have to do in this music player application is actually pretty simple. We need to read the storage of the device and find music files, and then list them on a list view with its respective adapter, and then we will enable the user to play with those files. Okay? Great, so the IDE has finished loading the project, and the first thing we will do is we will change the layout file that comes as default. So we'll go to the left side, we will open the RES folder, then we will open the layout folder. We will right click on the activity main.xml file and we will click on delete. We will make sure these both boxes are unchecked and then we will click in OK. So now the file is being deleted, as you can see. And what we will do now, we will create a new file but with a different root element. For that we'll go again to the layout folder, we will right click on it, then we will click on new layout resource file. Okay, and as file name we will write activity main, so the same name it had previously, but on root element we will delete the default value and we will type linear layout. Then we will press on OK and we will wait for the IDE to generate the code. As you can see, this is the code the IDE generated. In order for us to actually look at the code, we will click on the text view mode right here. And as you can see, we have our linear layout ready to be used. So right now, just to check if everything works okay, I will send the app to the emulator and make sure that everything looks as we want. So basically this file will enable us to set up how we want the application to look. Okay, so this is the XML file, the layout file. And the Java file will enable us to set how the application behaves. So right now the emulator is being initialized right here, so we have to wait a couple of minutes for it to boot up and to run the app. So as I was telling you, we have this file which enables us to create the user interface of our Android application. And if we add IDs to the elements of this interface, we can then retrieve those elements using their IDs from the code, which is the main activity.java file right here. Okay, so we will wait for the app to run and we will check if it is displaying the right content. Okay, so I will switch to the emulator right here and I will wait for it to boot up. As you can see, it says phone is starting. So this emulator is running Android Pie Android version 9.0, which is API 28. Okay, so it's the latest one as time of recording this video. And as you can see, the app should be almost ready. As you can see, there's two processes running right here, which is the Gradle view running, and we have these updated indices. Okay, let's see, now it's installing the application. Okay, great. So if we go to the emulator, we can see that we have our app right here, and it's actually working as we expect. It's empty because we haven't really added anything to it. So right now we will switch back to the Android Studio IDE, and what I want to do now is to delete these two bars because we want kind of a cleaner look of our application. We want a completely wide screen. Okay, so to hide those two bars, what we will do is we'll go under the res folder and then under values folder, and we will open the styles.xml file. So right here we can customize the actual theme of the application. For that we will go inside the style brackets, and we will type item name, and we will type window full screen, and we will set this value to true. Okay, so that what is that doing? It's hiding the top bar. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hide the title. So we're gonna say no title, window no title, and we will also set these to true. So with these two lines I just wrote, we are hiding both of the two bars we saw in the emulator. To check if it works, I will run the app again and make sure that it looks as we want. Okay, it's being installed, it's running right now, and as you can see, it's empty. Everything is empty, just as I want it to be. So right now we can go back to the Android Studio IDE, and we will close this styles.xml file. Now we will open the Gradle scripts file that will enable us to customize and clean up it a bit more. We will open the second one, which is the build.gradle file, which is module app. Okay, make sure you open the second, the one that says module app. Okay, so we open this, and this is kind of an abstraction level in which we set the configuration for our application. Since this is a simple application, we are just learning, we can simplify this file a lot more, so you can actually, by having a simpler view of it, you can actually understand what's going on. So this line is for testing. We won't be testing it using the unit tester library, so we can delete this line, and this bracket, this build type bracket, we don't need it. So we don't need it because we are not deploying it and we don't have custom configurations for it. Okay, now here on the dependencies, there's a lot of stuff that we don't really need about this. The only one we need is this one, the app compat library. So we can delete all the others, but not that one. So we will delete all these, and as you can see, now the file is a lot more simple and easier to read. Okay, so what this is saying basically is that we're using API 28 to compile the application. The minimum SDK we're targeting is 14 and the target is 28. The version code of the app is 1 and the version name is 1.0. And the only dependency we're using is the app compat one. After we have modified these, we will click on sync now here at the top. If you don't find that button, you can also click on this elephant button that I'm selecting with the mouse pointer. Okay, so now we can also close this file, and to make sure everything works again, I will run the app again and check that it still works fine. So let me see, I'm installing the app and I'm running and it still works fine. So let's actually start with the coding of our application. Okay, great. So the first thing we will do is we will work on the layout file of our application. Okay, as I told you, the layout file enables us to create UI elements using the XML kind of scripting language. Okay, so after we do that, we can access the code from Java. Okay, so let's start working on it. So we will go to our activity main.xml file, and since what we want to do is list the music files or the audio files, kind of MP3 files that exist on the device storage, we will use a list view. So we will open an element and type list view, and the width of this element will be max parent, the height will be 0 dp, and the weight will be 1. Okay, we can close this here to make it more clean to see. And now we will add an ID to this object. So we're gonna type ID and we will call it list view. Okay, so now we have added a list view right here. Apart from listing the music files, we want to kind of course play the music file and maybe show controls of maybe stop and play the file again, but maybe we can implement that later. So for now, this is the only thing we will add. Later we can complete this file. So we will switch back to our main activity.java, and here we will start reading what's going on. So as default, the IDE generates for us this file and adds the onCreate method, in which the only thing it does is set the content view to our XML file. Okay, so we are reading files from the storage, from the device storage, and the Android operating system requires us to ask for permission, starting in API 23 or Marshmallow and above. Okay, so to ask for permission, we will go to our manifest file right here. We will open this. As you can see, we have sort of warning. We can ignore that, like we can suppress the warning if you want. And we also have here the activity definition. The orientation of the activity will be portrait, so we're gonna say screen orientation and set that to portrait. Okay, and apart from that, we will go, we'll tie the application tag, and we will open the user's permission element. The first one will be set to read external storage. Okay, so we are reading the external storage right here, which is the permission we need in order for our application to run. Then once we have defined the permission on the Android manifest.xml file, we can go to our main activity.java file and actually start initializing everything we want our application to do. Okay, so first of all, we have to be able to check permissions at runtime. As I told you, in Android 23, APK 23 or Marshmallow, we are required to do just that. So to do that, we will do the following. After the onCreate method, we will define the permissions we want to ask. For that, we're gonna type private static final string. Oops, string is capital S, so string array. So we will define the permissions as an array of strings, and we'll call this uppercase permissions. Okay, we will set these, remember to end the line with a semicolon, and here we will specify the actual permissions our app requires. To specify the permissions, we will do the following. We will type manifest dot permission dot read external storage. Okay, so this is the permission we need. Okay, it says that field requires API level 16. So to fix this warning, we will go to our build Gradle file we opened previously, the one we have simplified, and we will change the minimum SDK version from 14 to 16. We will click on sync now. We will wait for the sync to be completed. Okay, now we can close this file, go back to our main activity.java, and we can see that the warning has disappeared, which is awesome. Okay, then that we have defined the permissions we want, we also want to define a request code, so we can know which permission we requested and kind of control the flow of the permission request process. Okay, so to do that, we're gonna say and create the following variable: private static final int, and we will call this request permissions. And here we have to enable or assign these int and a kind of a unique ID. It doesn't really matter. Maybe I would tell it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, any number you want. Okay. And lastly, we have to define a variable, an int variable again, that will store the permissions, the amount of permissions we are requesting. In this case, it's just 1. We'll call this permissions count. Okay, and we will set this to 1. Okay, great. So as default, in some devices the permissions are automatically granted, but in others they are not. So we will check if the permissions are denied by creating the following method. We're gonna say private boolean are permissions denied. Okay, we'll open this method and we'll create a for loop as follows. So we're gonna say for int I equals 0, I less than permissions count. Okay, and we'll say I plus plus. We open the for loop and we write the following logic. So we will check if the permissions are granted or not. To that we're gonna say if check self permission, and as the parameter we will pass permissions at I. So we have accessed the string array of the permissions and we are pointing to the element I. Okay, if permissions at I is different, if check self permissions at I is different than package manager dot permission granted. So if it's different than permission granted, we will return true, which will tell us the permission has been denied. And after we run this for loop, and if it hasn't returned, we'll return false, which means permissions are not denied, which means they are granted. As you can see, we have a warning right here on the check self permissions line, which says call requires API level 23, but we will be calling this only in API level 23, so we can ignore this by clicking in this warning sign and then on suppress link in API annotation. We click on that and this line is added, and now the warning is gone. So that's it for this method right here. We will continue right now, and after the user checks or clicks on allow or deny permission, what we have to do is get the result of that permission, if the user allowed it or denied. So to do that, we will do the following. We will override public void on request permissions result. Okay, and inside these we have some parameters that are passed. The first one will be an int, which will pass the request code, so you can say int request code. The second one will be a string array. Oops. What I just did, I delete this, so let me write it again. It's a public void on request permissions result, and inside these we have int request code. We also have string array, and we have the permissions we are asking for, so permissions, and we also have an int array that will return the results of those permissions. So we're going to call it grant results. We will open the method and we will call the super method. So we're going to say super dot on request permissions result, and we will pass the same parameters we received. So the first one will be request code, then will be permissions, and then will be grant results. Okay, so great. Now we can make our lives easier by using the previous method we wrote, which is our permissions denied. So we will check it right here. So we're going to say if our permissions denied, this means that the user has denied the permission, and since that permission is a must, the app cannot work without it. So if the user denies the permission, we want to clear the application data and close the app, which will enable us to keep asking for the permission every time the user opens the app again. So to accomplish that, we will do the following. We will open two parentheses, and the first one we will write activity manager, okay, and outside the first one we will create another parenthesis. So the activity manager is kind of the casting object we're casting into, and inside the second parenthesis we will type these that get system service, okay, and as a parameter of this we will pass activity service. Okay, we go after these three parentheses and we type that clear application user data, and this is basically the line that will clear the data right here. So we have activity manager, get system service, account service. No, it's not account service, sorry, I'm wrong, it's activity service. So let me correct this very quickly. So activity service, and we then type clear application user data. So again, this warning should be silenced because we're calling only when we should. So we're gonna go and say suppress linked new API annotation, and the warning is gone. In that case, what we will do is we will recreate the activity after that. So the first bracket is when the user denies activity, and when the user allows the permission, and we want to call the onResume method, because in that method we will do all the initialization. So we just type onResume and we'll leave it there. Okay, so now we have basically created our basic method right here. So now let's override the onResume method. Okay, so we're gonna go and say add override protected void on resume. Okay, inside the method we'll call the super method super.onResume. Okay, and inside here what we will do is we will check if we have to request or not the permissions. Okay, to do that we will do the following. We'll go and type if build dot version dot SDK int is greater or equal to build that version codes.m, which means marshmallow. So if this if statement is true, we also will check if the permissions are denied. So to check the permissions are denied, we will say and, as I'm writing right here, so and are permissions denied, so we call the method. So if those two conditions are true, we will request for permissions. To do that, we're going to type request permissions, okay, and as the first parameter we'll pass permissions, which is our array of permissions, and as the second one will be the request code, which is the request permissions variable. Okay, so after these we will return, because we don't want to keep initializing if we don't have the required permissions. Okay, so right now we have our basic kind of app that asks permissions. So to check that everything works as we want, we will run the application to check if it actually works as expected. So now I'm compiling the app and sending it to the emulator. The emulator runs the app, and as you can see, it appears this dialog that says allow music player to access photos, media and files on your device, and here the user can click either deny or allow. If the user clicks on deny, then the app is closed and the application data is cleared. And now if the user goes again on the music player application, it asks the app again, so the user can keep denying and keep opening the app. Let me see. Oh, the Android has a problem here. The emulator has a problem. So the user can keep opening the app. Oops. Pixel Launcher keeps stopping. So we have a sort of a problem here with the emulator. Let me check now. Okay. I will restart the emulator to hope it will hopefully be fixed. So we can say restart. So this is the bug of the Android emulator that I'm running right here. So these emulators often comes with bugs. So right now I'm restarting the application to make sure it works as we want. So we wait for the emulator to be restarted. As you can see here we have the Google logo and it's being restarted. So basically what we did in this tutorial is we set up the Android Studio project, we simplified the layout file, we simplified the Gradle build file, and we are requesting the permissions in the Android manifest and also on code. And right now the emulator is back and I will run the app again. So I click the music player, so it still keeps crashing. Let me see, music player. And now it's working. So now allow music player. So as you can see, it keeps asking until the user allows the permission. So I will click on allow, and as you can see now the app stays opened, which is great. Now if we go back to our IDE and we continue looking at the code, we can see that on the unresume method, on the return, we have a warning right here. It says return is unnecessary as the last statement in a void method. Okay, which is true, but that won't be the last statement because we will keep writing some stuff here. So what we will do now is start initializing the music player. For that we will create a global variable that will be private not really static, it's a private boolean is music player init, so which means is music player initialized, and the default, of course, that will be set to false. And right here inside the unresume method we will check for that flag, so we're gonna type if negation is music player init, which means if music player is not initialized, then we will initialize the music player. So right here, the first thing we will do is change the flag. So as the last statement of this if bracket, we will go and say is music player in it, and we will set this to true. Okay, awesome. Right, if you remember on the activity main.xml file, we created a list view. So we will access this list view right now from the Java code. To access the list view, we will do the following. We go and say final list view. We will call it list view, and we will set these to find view by ID r.id.list view. Okay, great. So right now we have created our list view, so we are accessing this list view from code. Okay, which is great, right? So in the next tutorial, we will learn how to set up this list view, create a parameter, we will read files and everything else we require to make this app working. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I see you in the next one. Bye! Hello and welcome to this new Android development tutorial. This is part 2 of how to make a music player application for Android. In the previous tutorial, we initialized the application, set up the permissions, and we leave the permissions working just fine. In this tutorial, we will continue to work on your application. So right now we go to our onResume method, and here we in the check, in which we check if the music player is initialized. And in the previous tutorial, what we did here is we set the list view to the element of our manifest file. Okay, the next thing we will do is to actually create an adapter for our list view. Okay, so we will go outside the onResume method and we will type class. We will call this class text adapter, and we will extend base adapter. Okay, we will open this bracket right here, and we will create the following method that will enable us to set the data of the adapter. First of all, we will create an array list that will contain the data. For that, we're gonna type private list of strings. We will call these data, and we'll set these to don't forget to import the list library. Let me see, list string data, and we will set these to new array list. Okay, so we have our data array list just created, and now we're gonna create a method that will enable us to set the data of that array list. For that, we're gonna type void set data. We'll open this method right here, and what we'll do is first we will clear the previously data that existed on that array list. For that, we're gonna say data.clear. Okay. Oops, let me see, data.clear. Next, what it will do is data at all, and what we have to add is the new data. So we have to create a new parameter inside set data method definition. So right here we're gonna say list of string, and we call these data. Or actually, we change the name to make it more readable, mdata. Okay, and inside these at all, what we will do, it will be at all mdata. Okay, great. And after we have updated the data set, we will gonna notify that it was updated. So we're gonna say notify data set changed. Okay, great. So that was our set data method. Now we will continue overriding the next method. So the first one we will override will be the get count method. So we're gonna say add override public int get count. Okay, we will open this, and what we will return that has to be an int will be the size of our data set. So we're gonna say return data dot size. Okay, so that's our get count method. Next we will override the get item method. So we're gonna say override public object get item, and as parameter we will get past the position. Okay, so instead of object here we will actually change this to string, because maybe we need to use this if we need it. Okay, so we will open this method right here, and we will return a null for now, right? Because I don't think we will need it for now. Later, if we need it, we will return what we need. Okay, we have to also override the get item ID method. So you can say public long get item ID. The parameter of these will be int position as well. We'll open these, and once again we'll return null, because we won't be returning anything right here, but we have to override it. Okay, so we cannot return null apparently, so we will return 0. Okay, great, so that's get item ID. And now we will override the last method, which is also the most important one, which is the get view method. Public view. So we have to import the view library, and we call it get view. The parameters of this method will be as follows. The first one, int position, the position of the view. The next one will be view convert view, which is the view we are getting. And the third is the view group. So view group, we will call it parent. Okay. We'll open this method, and we have to, of course, return a view right here. So first of all, we will check if convert new is null in order for us to initialize it. So you're gonna say if convert view is null, what we're gonna go is gonna open this bracket right here, and if it's null, we will do the following. We will get the view and inflate it. But before we do that, we have to actually create that view in code, in XML code actually. So to do that, we will go and open our REST folder here at the left side of the screen, then the layout folder. We will right click on the layout folder, then on new and layout resource file. In file name, we will call it item. And as root element, we will put a text view, because we will be displaying text, right? So make sure you have item and text view, and then click in OK. As you can see, the IDE generates this file for us. We will switch to the text mode right here, and we will modify these a bit. Okay, so as you can see, the width and height parameters are already set. We also have to set an ID to this text view item. So we're gonna say ID, maybe my item. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna set the gravity. We want the text to appear in the center, so we're gonna say gravity will be set to center vertical. Okay. Okay, then we're gonna kind of change the text size a bit. For this case, I think it would be 20 sp or something like that. So let's go text size 20 sp. Okay, we can change that later, of course. We will also add a padding to the start in order for us to kind of look at it in a more easy way. So we're gonna say padding start. We're gonna set this to 16 dp. Okay, so here we have a kind of warning that tells us that we should also set padding left. So we will do that too. So padding left we will also set this to 16 dp. Okay, which is great. Now it says that we have also defined padding right and padding end, so we're gonna do that. Padding end, again 16 dp, and also padding right, also 16 dp. Okay, so as you can see, the warnings are now gone. Great. And now what we will set the text color to will be to black. So we're gonna go and say text color, and to set it to black we're gonna write $sign followed by 6 zeros. So make sure there are 6 zeros, and I think we're ready to go now. Right, so awesome. We will go back to our main activity.java file, and we will continue to write our getView method now that we have created the item on the XML file. So if the convert view is null, what we will do is convert view equals to layout inflator. Okay, layout inflator dot from, we open parentheses and we type parent dot get context. Okay, outside this we're gonna press dot. I will do it in the next line. Okay, get context dot inflate, and we will inflate the layout right here, so it will be r dot layout dot item. Okay, that will be the first parameter. The second one will be the parent or the root, so we're gonna pass parent, and the third will be attached to root. In this case we're gonna pass it false. Okay, so we have set our convert view variable right here, and now we will also set the tag that will enable us to get it later when we want to set the text to the view. So you're gonna say convert view dot set tag, and as the tag we're gonna say new view holder. Oops. Let me see what I did wrong. So new view holder. Okay, what's going on here? Let me see. New view holder. Okay, we don't have the view holder, so we have to create the view holder class. So we're gonna go outside this get view method just here. We're gonna type class view holder, and inside this method we're gonna do the following. We're gonna create a text view. We'll call this text view info, for example. Can have any name really. And as the constructor method, you're gonna say view holder. The parameter, the first one would be the only one actually. Text view. I will call it m-info, and I will open this right here, and I will set info is equal to m-info, and that's it for this class. So now we can go back to current convert view set tagline we were previously, and now we can access the view holder class we created, as you can see. And now right here we will open parentheses after this view holder definition. We will open parentheses again to cast it as text view, and outside this we will type convert view dot find view by ID, and as ID we will type r dot ID dot my item. Okay, so right now that's it for when the convert view is null. Now outside this if bracket we're gonna create a get holder. We're gonna say view holder. We'll call this holder. We will set these, we will cast this to view holder, and we will set this to convert view dot get tag. So we're getting the tag we set previously. Okay, and here we're gonna get the item that we want to do, wants to display. So you can say the final string. We'll call it item, and what we're gonna do is data that get the item at the position, okay, which which is great. Now we have our item and our holder. So we have to now set the text view. So to do that, we're gonna say holder.info.setText, and we will set the text to the following. So remember what will be stored in our item. Well, what will be stored in the item will be actually the whole path and file name of our music files. We don't want to show the whole file name. We want to show, we don't want to show the whole path. We just want to show the file name. To do that, we will create a substring. So to do that, we're going to say item.substring. Okay. And what we'll do here will be item.lastIndexOf, and we will create in single quotes a /. This means just point to the file name, and we will add 1 to this because we don't want to print that / either. So after we do this, we actually have to return the view. So you can say return convert view, and now we have completed our getView method, and also we have completed our text adapter, the adapter that will show the text items to our application. So we will go back to our onResume method right here after we set up the list view, as you can see. And what we will do now is set up the adapter we just created. To do that, we're gonna type final text adapter. We will call this text adapter, and we will say new text adapter. Okay, so that's our text adapter. Then we have to create a place in which we will store all the videos that we need. So we're gonna create a videos list. For that, we will create a global variable as follows: private list of string, and we will call it it's not videos, actually music list, right? So you can say music files. So music files list. Okay, so that's a list of the music files. Now inside this here, after the text adapter, we're gonna say music files list, and it will set this to new array list. Okay, great. After this, we have basically set up the list, but we have to fill the list of these music. For that, we will create a method before the onResume method, and we will call it private void fill music list. Okay, so we can call this method easily without writing too much code. So we're gonna say, first of all, we will clear the videos list. So the music list. So you're gonna say music files list that clear. Okay, then we will create another method that will be add music files from. So you can say private void add music files from. Okay, and the parameter will be a path from which we will add music files. So we will pass it here path. Okay, we will open this method, and inside here we will do the following. We will type final file. Remember to import file, and I will call it music dir or music directory. Okay, and we will set this to new file dir path. Okay, so we have created our new file. Right now we will check if that file exists. So we can say if music directory that exists, actually if it doesn't exist, we will create it. So if negation music directory exists, we open this bracket and then say music dir that make mk dir. Okay, so we're creating this right now. Okay, so if the directory doesn't exist, it means it is empty. So we don't have to do anything else. So we can return right here to make the code run faster. We just type return. Now after the if statement, which will run if the music directory existed, we will list the files of that directory. So you're gonna say final file. Final file array, and I will call this files, and I will set these to videos, or actually music dir that list files. So we're listing all the files in that directory. Now we will create a for each loop that will add only the video file, only the music files to our list. So you're gonna say for file lowercase colon files. So this is for each loop, and here we're gonna get a kind of a path of the file. So you can say final string path will be set to file that get absolute path. Okay, apparently we have a sort of error right here. So found, we require a string, and we are getting so it's get absolute file path. Sorry, it was my bad. So get absolute path. So get absolute path. Okay, now we don't have that error. And now we can say if path that ends with, and we'll say that mp3. If we want to scan mp3 music files, we're gonna say music files list that add path. In other words, if the file ends with that mp3, we will add that file to our music files list. Okay, so this is add music file from. Now we go back to our fill music list, and after we clear this, we will call the previous method, which will be add music files from, and what we will call this will be the following. It will be string that value of, and we will say environment that get external storage public directory. Okay, I will type a new line right here for better readability, and what I will pass right here will be environment that directory music. So this means we will search for in the music directory for music files, which of course makes lots of sense, and so that's awesome. But maybe we also have music on our downloads folder, so we'll add support for that too. So we're gonna say add music files from, and say the same string that value of, and gonna say environment. Okay, environment that get external storage directory, and environment that directory downloads. Okay, awesome. So we'll put this in new line 2, and as you can see, now we add all the files in these both directories. So if we go back to our onResume method, we will call these method right here. So let's do that. We go back to the onResume method, and after we set these music file list to new array list, we will call fill music list. So what this will do, will get all the music files that finds on the main directories we specified, and we'll add them to the music files list. Okay, great. So right now that we have the data, we have the adapter and the list view, we just have to set them to work together. So first of all, we're gonna say text adapter dot set data, and as parameter we will pass music files list. Okay, and then we will set list view dot set adapter, and we will pass text adapter. Okay, which is of course awesome. So now, in order for us to check that everything is working as expected, I will run the application and send it to the emulator to see if the files are being displayed or not. So the activity has been launched. As you can see, there's nothing here, but that's because I don't have music files on this emulator. So let me download them really quickly from the internet. So let me check if we have internet access actually. Do we have? Oh, I think I just turned it off. So yeah, it's connected now, which is great. So right here I will type download music, no copyright. Okay, download music, no copyright. Okay, let me see if I can find a site in which we can download music without copyright. So as you can see here, we have this file, this website. Okay, and here I will click download and check if that works or not. So apparently you have to donate to download this. Let me see. Okay, so I won't use this site apparently. I'll use another one. Royalty free music. So let's go into this site. So if you do this, please make sure you are you have some music files in your phone. So I will download these and click on download, and apparently it's being downloaded right here. As you can see, it's called bensoundsummer.mp3. Okay, so if I go and close all my apps, and I will open the music player app again, as you can see here I have the file I just downloaded, which is bensoundsummer.mp3. So this means the app is working. But as you can see, the size of this text view is very small. We want it to be a lot larger. So we're going to change that in the code. So go to the Android Studio IDE, we'll go to the item.xml file, and here in height, instead of match parent, we will set it to maybe 50 dp, which is larger. So and then I will run it and check if the text cells are actually larger. So now as you can see, the cell itself is a lot larger, which is awesome. Okay, so right now I will go back to our main activity.java and continue setting this application in order for us to be ready to use it. Okay, we want to add the following functionality. So we have imagine we have tens or even hundreds of music files right here we can scroll into, and when we click on one of them, we want the music to start playing, right? So we'll do the following. So first of all, we have to detect when the user clicks an item. So to do that, we're going to say list view that set on item click listener new on item click listener, as you can see. And inside this method, we will we will get the file or the path file and we will play it. So to get the file path, we can say final string music file path, and will be set to data. Is the data or maybe music file list that get position. Great. So now we have the position of the file we want to get. Now we have to actually play the audio file. For that, we'll create the following method. So you're gonna say private void play music. Okay, so I'm gonna say play music file, and we will pass a string path. Okay, inside this we will do the following. We will create a media player. So you're gonna type media player. We'll call it MP equals to new media player, as you can see right here. Okay, and then we're gonna open a try block right here, and inside this try block we will do the following. We will do MP that set data source, and we will set these to file name, or actually path. Is that okay? Let me see. Okay, apparently it's okay. After this, we'll go and say mp.prepare, and after that we can say mp.start. So we start playing the music. And of course, after the try block, we have to catch the exception. So you can say catch exception E, and we can ignore it, or we can print the stack trace. We can say e.print stack trace. So now we have our play music file method ready to be used. Okay, so if we go back to when on the on item click listener right here, we can pass this path, this music file path, to our play music file method, and the music should start playing. So we can say play music file. We will pass music file path, and apparently the music should start playing. Okay, let's run the app to check if the music plays or not. Okay, so I'm installing it. As you can see, it's here, and I will click on this file, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it's being played right now. So I will kind of get the microphone closer to the speaker. So the music file is actually working, is actually being played as we wanted. Of course, there's still a lot to do because we cannot really stop it yet. We cannot see how see the seek bar and all of that. So we have to also take care of all of that in the following tutorial. So this is for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you in the next one. Bye! Hello and welcome to this new Android development tutorial. This is part 3 of how to make a music player for Android. In the previous tutorial, we set the list view and the data on the list view. On this tutorial, we will add the seek bar that will enable us to change the part of the song we want to play. So let's run the app to check that everything keeps working fine. So I'm running the app. As you can see, I have one music file. So before continuing this tutorial, make sure you have at least one music file in the download folder or in the music folder. Okay, otherwise those files won't be detected by our music player. Okay, so now that we have these, and if we click on this, it starts playing the music file. Okay, great. So I will actually close the application to stop the playback. Okay, so right now I'm switching to the Android Studio IDE, and what I will do now is I will go to my activity main.xml file, and after the list view I will create a new element, which will be a seek bar. Okay, the width of this element will be match parent and the height will be wrapped content. I will add an ID to this element, which I'll call seek bar. Okay, and I will also set the visibility to this element to gone as default, so we can show this seek bar only when we're playing a song. Okay, back on the activity, on the main activity.java file, we will go to the onItemQuick method inside the setOnItemQuick listener. So we're gonna see after we play music file, or well, kind of, we will show what we created. So before we set the click listener, we will define our seek bar. For that, we will type final seek bar, and I will call it seek bar. And we will set this to find view by ID, r.id dot seek bar. Oops, seek bar. So maybe I have a spelling error on the XML file, so let me fix it. So seek bar. Okay, now it's fixed. Okay, awesome. So now I am accessing my seek bar from the from my main activity file. Okay, which is awesome. Now what we have to do is I'll have to show the seek bar when I play the song. Okay, so right here after I call the play music file, I'll say seek bar dot set visibility, and I will set this to visible. Okay, so I will run the application to check if this is working as we want. So now I'm running it, and I will click on my music file, and as you can see I have the seek bar at the bottom, which still doesn't control the music flow. Okay, but we will fix that really soon. Okay, awesome. So let me close the app again to stop the playback of the song. Okay, great. So now that we have our seek bar, we want to use that seek bar to actually manipulate the song as we want. So how can we do that? Well, we have to get the length of the music file, right? So we have to get the length of the music file, and after we get the length, we can know how long our music file is. Okay, so to get the length, when we call play music file, we will return the duration of the music. So we will return an int. So instead of returning a void here, I will return an int. And as int, I will return the size of the media player. So you can say mp, actually return mp that get duration. Okay, so get duration. I return that duration as an integer. Okay, now I will go on the seek bar right here. Before we set the seek bar visibility to true, I can say final int. I'd say song duration, and I'll set that song duration to play music file path. So I get the duration of the music file when I call that method. So after we do this, what we have to do is actually set the kind of size to the seek bar. So how can we do that? Well, let me think. So we have already our seek bar, and to do that we have to set it kind of the maximum size, which of course is the song duration, right? So you can say seek bar dot set max, and we will pass song duration, okay, which is great. Okay, awesome. So now we have set the maximum of our seek bar, but then what we have to do is actually set the kind of know when the seek bar, when the music continues playing, so I can update the seek bar. So after we define seek bar right here, we will do the following. We will say seek bar dot set on seek bar change listener and new seek bar, okay, on seek bar change listener, as you can see. So make sure you have the same. And here the IDE kind of implemented some methods for us. So right now we have the first one is on progress changed. So we now have the progress changed of the seek bar. So this means the user changed the progress of the seek bar. When the user changes the progress from the seek bar, we have to go and tell that to our media player, okay? So how can we do this? Well, basically we have to access our media player, okay? Or actually we should not call it from here, but from on stop tracking touch. So here is where the user stops touching the seek bar, okay? So to access the media player, we will have to make this media player right here a global variable. So we will make it a global variable by saying private media player MP, as you can see. And here inside the music file we delete the media player object and just leave MP equals new media player, okay, which is awesome. So right now we have our media player accessible from any class, from any method. And right here on stop tracking touch, I have to change the current state of the media player. So you can say mp that seek to, and I will seek to the progress of bar. Okay, so the progress of the bar will be done. We should get the progress of the bar from the on progress changed method. Okay. Okay, so right here we gonna kind of set this to int m progress, for example, or kind of song progress. Okay, and we will leave it there. And here, when the on progress changed is called, what it will do here will be let me see, progress, actually song progress equals to progress. So we have now our new progress right here, and on stop tracking touch here in this method we will seek the song to song progress. Okay, so right now I will run the application to check if it works, so please run it you as well. So I will click on the song right here, and as you can see I have the bar right here, which is still not updated, but if I change the bar, the song also changes, which is of course awesome. Okay, which is great, right? So it's working. The code we wrote is actually working, which is awesome. Okay, so right now that we have the ability to change the progress, what we also want to do is actually change the progress as the song is being played, right? Okay, so we want to change the progress as the song is being played. So how can we do this? So we can kind of maybe update the seek bar 1 second later. That's one approach. Another approach would maybe create a kind of a method that will set the progress of the seek bar to the current position of the media player. Okay. So we want to update maybe I don't know, maybe every second or something, or something like that. Yeah, I think that would be what we want. Okay. Let's see. So I think that's what we will do. Yeah. So we want to update the seek bar. Okay, so what we want to do is maybe create a new thread that will update the seek bar. Would that be enough? Well, kind of actually. Okay. So inside the onResume method, we will do the following. Okay, let me see. So inside the onResume method, we have our seek bar right here, and we want to set the progress as we kind of init this. So we will create a method outside the onResume method. We will call it private void update song progress. Okay, this method will be called every time we actually play a new song. Okay, so when we play a new song, which is right here, we want, apart from setting the visibility to visible, we want to update the seek bar. So we're gonna call update song progress. Okay, and right here what we will do is we have to know the progress, kind of the size, the duration of the thing, and increase that maybe 1 second every second, for example. Okay, so how do we do this? So when we call update song progress, we will have to access the seek bar from outside this. So maybe we can create a kind of a local method. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. So instead of calling the update song progress, we will try to do everything locally. So I'm gonna say let me see, int position, or actually song position. We'll set this to 0. Oops. So we have song position set to 0, as you can see. Then we'll set while song position, while song position is less than song duration, we will update the kind of the song position, right? So we will do the following. We will do song position plus plus. Okay, and here we will have to go and say seek bar dot set position, or actually seek to set position, maybe set position set. No. Something is wrong here. We have to update the seek bar. So how can we update the seek bar? Let me see. Okay. Let me see how can we update the seek bar. Kind of. Set progress. So I can say set progress, and we will set these to song position. Of course, if we run these as it is, then these will complete the while loop in less than a second because we're not waiting. So here we have to wait for a second, right? So we're gonna, and all of these should be run inside a thread. So what does a thread mean? Well, basically a thread is the ability of a computer to run code in a parallel fashion. So one thread will kind of be the UI thread, which is running everything kind of real time, but we don't want to run everything in the UI thread because we will block the UI thread, we will cause the application to stop. Okay, so of course we don't want that. Instead we want to create a background thread, right? Okay, so we will create a background thread right here. To create a background thread, we're gonna say new thread. Okay, new thread, we call the thread method. We open brackets, and we'll say public void run. We call the run method. We open brackets, and inside this thread we will put all of these we wrote previously. So make sure you copy what you have to, and we paste it here. Okay, so we move the code inside the thread. So we have the thread right here, and here we have to say that start. So we are starting the thread, as you can see. So the thread we will start and change the progress of the song position. But since we are we are not anymore on the background thread, what we have to do is to have a way in which we can access the background thread. Okay, so how can we access actually the background thread, actually the UI thread? So how can we access it? Well, so first we have to remember that we will be calling this on a thread that it's running in the background, and we cannot make change to the UI if we are on the background thread. So when we set this progress, we have to be running on the UI thread. To do that, we will type run on UI thread new runnable. Okay, and we'll put this seek bar that set progress song position inside this run bracket right here, as you can see, and this says this variable is accessed within inner class, needs to be declared final, which we don't want because we want to change it. So what we have to do is to make the song position a global variable. So we're gonna write that song position in variable outside the underscore method. So we're gonna go outside the underscore method and say private int song position. What's that? I forgot the name. Sorry, let me check again. Song position, yeah. So song position. Oops. Song position. Okay, so now we have our global variable which can be accessed, and as you can see, the warning or error is gone. So we set the progress right here. Okay, so first it will be set to 0, then we have to sleep. So right here we have to sleep. Before we increase the song position, we're gonna say thread dot sleep for 1000 milliseconds, which is a second. Here it tells us that we have to catch this exception, and we do that. And as you can see, we now have basically our thread, which is kind of complex logic, so make sure you got all the brackets right. Okay, so I will run the app now to check if the seek bar is updated as we go. So I'm installing, I'm running the app. I will click on the music file, and as you can see, the bottom bar is shown, but the progress is not being updated. Or is it? Let me see. I don't think it's being updated. It's not moving, right? Or is it moving? No, it's not moving. Why it's not moving? Well, I think I kind of know the answer for this. Okay. So maybe, I think this is also specified in milliseconds. So instead of increasing 1, we have to increase 1000. Okay, so let's see if that fixes the problem. So to increase 1000, we basically say plus equals 1000. Okay, and I will run it again. And as you can see, now the seek bar is actually moving 1 second every second, which is what we told it to do. So awesome, so far so good. So we are playing the music, and the seek bar is being updated as the music is playing, which of course is awesome. Okay, but now something useful that would be very useful for us would be to know where is the current position. So we maybe want to add a text view on top of this, and that text view will also be updated to say, well, the current position is 1 second, 2 seconds, and so on. So let's do it, right? Awesome, so let's do it. So let's go to our Android Studio IDE, and we will go to our activity main.xml file right here. And before the seek bar, we will create a linear layout. So we type linear layout, the width will be much parent, the height will be wrap content. Okay, the orientation will be horizontal, and we want to add an ID too, right? But not really. Okay, let's continue with this. So inside the linear layout, we will have to define 2 text views, one for the current state of the music and one for the duration of the music. So you can say text view, the width will be wrap content, the height will also be wrap content, the ID will be current position, okay? And we will create another ID right here, another text view. So text view, width, wrap content, height, wrap content, and the ID will be song duration. Okay, so if I go into the preview to check how this will look in the application, so we can see that if I click on this project right here, it's not shown, it's shown very little here, and the same with this one. So in order for us to see what's going on, we will set the width to 50 dp maybe. So if I set the width to 50 dp of this one right here, then I have the other starting right here. Let me check. Okay, maybe we have to maybe we'll set some text to see what's going on. So hello, just to test. Okay, as you can see, the hello appears right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's appearing right here. And what we want to do is to, of course, leave that there, which is kind of working okay. Okay, and I will want to also put this other text view on the other side. So you can say text, hello again. And as you can see, it's here, but I want it to be moved to to the end of this. Can I do that? Well, maybe yes. So we're gonna set gravity right, maybe? No, it's not working. So maybe layout gravity. You have to set layout gravity. So let me see. Android layout gravity right. It's still not working, but I think I know how to fix it. So instead of the width 50 dp, what we will do is put width 0 dp and the weight will be set to 1. And what we will do is, as you can see, now this thing occupies all this position and the other occupies kind of the rest, you know? That's kind of a quick fix. Okay, so we can delete these hellos right here because those were just to test this. Okay, so we can also delete this gravity right because we don't really need it. Okay, so we are now have our kind of two text views, one for the current position and one for the song duration, and of course we will set them on code. So here, before we set the on-click listener, we will set the text view. So we're going to say final text view, song position text view. We'll set find view by id r.id dot song duration. Oops, no. Not song duration, song current position. So current position. Okay, let's delete this. So instead of song duration, this is current position. Okay, and then we're gonna create another text view, final text view. Now song duration text view. We will set this to find view. Find view by id r.id dot song duration. Okay, so now we have those two text views, which is awesome. Okay, great. Right now what we will do is to also update them when we set the progress of the seek bar. So actually only the one has to be updated inside this loop. So you can say song position text view dot set text, and we will set the text to string dot value of song position. Okay, we have this will be kind of updated every second, but we also want to update the other one right here. So we're gonna say song duration text view dot set text string that value of song duration. Okay, looks great. So let's run and try to see if it's working or not. So let's switch to the emulator. I will click on this music file, and as you can see, we have the duration being updated right here. Of course, it is in milliseconds, so we have to change that. But so far, it's working great. So this means we're in second 15, 16 of 217 milliseconds, which is kind of 3 minutes, a little bit more than 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Okay, so we will reformat this to show actually what we want. Okay. So let me close the app to stop the music playback. Let's switch to the Android Studio IDE. And right here, what we will do is we will set the value of song position divided by 1000. Okay? So we will divide it by 1000. And we will do the same with song duration. We will also divide it by 1000. So let's run it again and check if... Oops, no, I did it wrong. It's not here. Sorry, it's not in set max and seek bar. It's right here on the song duration text view. We're gonna say song duration divided by 1000. Okay, great. Now we are installing these, and we will click on it again, and And as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of 200 seconds. So we also want to change these, transform these to minutes and seconds. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, let's see. Transform that thing to minutes and seconds. So the song duration right here will have to be transformed to minutes and seconds. So how can we transform it to minutes and seconds? So we first divide by 1000, right? Which is okay, right? But we cannot actually do something else here. Instead, to divide 2 times, instead to increase by 1000, we can simplify this a lot by dividing it in the source. So when we get the song duration, there we will divide it by 1000. Okay, so we don't have to divide it again here, we don't have to divide it again here, and most importantly, we don't have to increase 1000, we have to increase just 1. So after doing this kind of quick fix, let's see if it still works after this code change. So let's run it again, and as you can see, it's still working without being divided by 1000 every time, which is of course awesome. Okay, but now we still have to change this thing right here. So we have to format this song duration so we can divide it by 60. So we're gonna set song duration divided by 60, which are the minutes. Okay, great, so we have the minutes. Then we will add a colon, as you can see right here, and then we will add the seconds. So we're gonna say also string that value of, and we'll set the reminder of that division. So we're gonna say song duration modulus 60. Okay, let's see if this works now. So let's run it and check if the minutes and seconds are properly formatted. So I will click on the music file, and as you can see, we have 3 minutes and 37 seconds, which is awesome. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. I see you in the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome to this new Android development tutorial. This is part 4 on how to make a music player application for Android. In the previous tutorial, we learned how to actually play the music. We set the seek bar to be updated. So let's run the app to check if everything keeps working as we expect. So let me see. So we have here the app, and here is our music file. If I click on it, then the music starts playing, and here we have the seconds, kind of the current position of the music playback, and the whole size of it, which is awesome. Okay, as you can see, we need some space before these thing right here, so we will add that, and also after this one. Okay, so I will stop the music playback by closing the app, and I will switch to the Android Studio IDE, and I will go to activity main.xml. And inside here on the current position text view, we will set padding start, we will set it to 16 dp. Okay, and we will also set padding left to 16 dp. Okay, and we will do the same with the other text view, so you can say padding M to 16 dp, and also padding right to 16 dp. Now let's run the application again to check if this works or not. Okay, let's play it. And as you can see, now we have a space before this number, which looks great, and we have also space after this duration. Now here we have another issue we have to fix, so let's scroll a bit more. So as you can see, when we click on a different position, the position goes back to the previous one. Okay, so we have to fix that, of course. Okay, so we will go to our, oops, I blocked the device, sorry. So we will go to the main activity.java file, and when we increase the song position, what we have to set is the seek bar too. So the seek bar is set the progress, okay, and we also have to set the song position progress when we move the seek bar. So to do that, we will go to the seek bar on the stop tracking touch, as you can see. Apart from seeking this progress, we will go and set the global variable, which is called song position. So let's set song position or song progress. No, song position will be set to song progress equals song progress. So now let's run the app again to see if seeking works better. So installing the app, clicking on the audio file, and here we have, if I scroll it, it goes and stays where I scroll it, which is of course awesome. But the problem, as you may notice, right here we're not showing these seconds in the proper format. We need to show them as minutes, colon seconds, so we have to fix that too. Okay, let's fix it. So we go back to our Android Studio IDE, and where we display the kind of a current thing right here, we have to do basically the same that we did on the set duration text view and song duration text view. So right here, when we set this, we will do the following. So we're going to say the string value of song position divided by 60, so that's the minutes, and we say exactly the same we did previously, plus 2 dots, okay, colon, okay, and let's go to the next line for readability. We're going to say string dot value of, we'll set song position, is this? Yeah, song position modulus 60. Okay, looks great. So now let's run the app to check if it works or not. So we have something here that is missing. Let me see. Plus set text. There is a plus sign missing right here. So you can say plus. Okay, let's run it again. So here it gives a kind of warning. It's not that very important. Okay, so we will ignore it. So if we click on the sound file, as you can see, we have the current size. We have 0 minutes 7 seconds. If we increase the bar, we have 57, 58, 59, 1 minute 0 seconds, and so on. Okay, and it is great. It's working great. So let's see what happens when the music kind of ends, finish playing. So let's wait for the music to end. Okay. So it ends, but apparently the music itself doesn't stop. So let's kind of fix that too. So why the music is not stopping? Okay. So let's see, maybe the duration is not the correct one. So when we return an integer, we say get duration. Okay, and we get it right here on the music file path. Okay, set max. We set the maximum size, and when we increase the seek bar, we are increasing it correctly too. So let me see what's going on here. Okay. Maybe this is not being rounded correctly. So what we have to do here is maybe return a sort of a double or other data type that it's not an integer. Maybe, but I don't think so. Okay. So let's run the music again. The problem, I know what the problem is. I think the problem with these is that the music is being played again, right? So the music is being played. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can also test on your device. And when this stuff ends, the music is still playing. Okay. So something is kind of wrong here. So maybe we should stop the music playing when this is completed, right? Because it's kind of in a loop, right? Okay, so to do this, we'll do the following. So when this while loop ends, right here actually, when this while loop ends, we're gonna set mp that maybe pause, mp.pause. That'd be enough. Okay, let's go again and try to see if this pause thing works. So let's go here. Let's kind of seek to the near end of this. Okay, and see if these not crashes first, because we're not calling from URI trend. I know it has to be called from it. And as you can see, now it's working. The music was paused. And when we go back, we are not playing it again because we need a resume pause button. So we need to create a resume pause button, maybe right here. So let's create that button. So we will go to our activity main.xml file, and between these two text files we will create a button. Okay, you're gonna say button, and we'll set the width to 0 dp. Okay, the height to the height will be wrap content. Okay, the weight will also be 1. Okay, but maybe we have to change the weight of the other thing a little bit. Okay, let me see. So we have different problem right here. How can we fix this? Well, we have to change the weight, so I will give the same weight to all of them. So the width of the last text view will be 0 dp and the weight will be 1. So now all of them have kind of the same size. Okay, but here I want the gravity of this thing to be set to gravity to n. Maybe would that work? Okay, hopefully. So let's see if that even works. So the text of this button will be pause. So this will be the pause button, pause and resume button. So this will be pause button. The ID, we set the ID to pause button. So we go back to our main activity.java file, And before the list view set on click listener, we're gonna say final button. Don't forget to import the button. Let's say pause button, which is pause resume button actually. So we said find view ID r the ID that pause button. Okay, and okay, let me see. So we have this button right here, and we have set the click listener, right? So you can say pause button that set on click listener, new on click listener. And inside this, we're gonna, when we click on the pause button, we will set mp.pause. Okay, but we have to add a kind of flag. So you're gonna say private, a global variable. You can say private boolean is song playing, which as default will be false. And now inside this pause button, we have to check that flag to know what we have to do. So you can say if is song playing, we will mp pause it. Okay, so you can say if is song playing, mp pause it, and you're gonna say pause button that set text. We're gonna set text to play. So play and pause. Otherwise, if the song is not playing, we're gonna say mp.resume. Do we have that? Resume? No, mp.play or mp.start. Okay, we will then later fix this. Okay, so we have mp.start, and it will set pause button that set text, and we'll set the text to pause. As you can see, after this if statement, we have to switch the flag, flip the flag. So you can say is song playing equals to negation is song playing. So if it was true, it becomes false, and if it was false, it becomes true. Okay, now we're gonna run the application to see if this works as we want. Okay, that's installing and running it. And as you can see, we have this shown even we don't want to. But well, we'll ignore that for a moment. We will click on the music file, and now it is kind of playing. And if I click on pause, then the music stops, and when I click on play, it resumes, but the seek bar is not stopped. So we have to also stop the seek bar. So let me see. Let me stop also the seek bar. So let me see. Okay. So first, when we play the song on item click listener, here when we play the song, we have to set the is-song playing to true. So here we're gonna say is-song playing, is-song playing will be set to true, right here, okay? And here in the while loop, we have to check while song is playing, right? So you can say while is song playing and song position is less than song duration. So you have two checks to do here. So now let's run the app to check if it works again. So running, click on the file, it is playing. If I click on pause, the music stops and also the seek bar stops. Okay, but now if I click on play, the music resumes, but the seek bar doesn't. Okay, so we have to find a way to resume the seek bar too. So when we resume the music right here, we also have to resume the seek bar. So right here, when we resume the music right here, we also have to resume the seek bar. So how can we resume the seek bar? Thing we have to kind of call this method again. No. Well, kind of really. Or maybe what we can do is add a next check maybe. Okay. So we want to resume the seek bar displaying all this stuff right here. Okay, so we will kind of create a resume seek bar method. So we're gonna go and say private so how did we stop it first of all? Okay, how did we stop the seek bar? Oh, we just flipped the flag, and when we flipped the flag, this thing was stopped. But we can actually do a kind of easier fix right here. So let's change this a bit. If we check it inside the loop, we can do some kind of useful stuff right here. Okay. So we will delete these is song play and check right here. And here inside these we're gonna say if is song playing, we will open this and we will put all of this right here inside this. So if is song playing, we gonna actually play the song, right? Actually set the progress on this thing. So let me see if the brackets are okay. Well, that seems to be okay. Now let's run the app again to check if it works as we want. So we're installing the app, launching the app. I will click on the music file. Okay, if music is playing, I will click on pause. The music stops, the seek bar stops. I will click on play. The music resumes and the seek bar also resumes. If I click on pause again, both of them stop. And if I click on play, both of them resume, which is of course awesome. But now we are showing this bar as default, which we don't want to. So we want to show them only when we're playing the music. So we will hide them. So we'll go to our activity main.xml file, and in this layout right here, the one that contains the play buttons, we're gonna set it visibility to gone, and we'll add an ID that we'll call them playback buttons. So playback buttons. Okay, just as a way of calling them. And now we will define them just as a view, really. So we can define them maybe here, maybe to keep these more ordered. I'll define these here. So final view playback controls, and we'll set find view by IP art ID dot playback buttons. Controls as well. Anyway, so name doesn't really matter. And now we can use that to hide or show it. So when we play it, apart from setting the seek bar visible right here, we will also set playback controls that set visibility to visible. Okay, so now let's run the app to see if this new check works. Okay, running. Okay, and as you can see, nothing is shown right here, which is of course awesome. There's no buttons, no seek bars, no states, and if I click on these, then we have our buttons, our seek bar, and our states of the music. We can pause, we can resume, okay, which is awesome, right? Now our application is working as we want. Okay, so maybe what we want to do is improve the code a bit, to kind of clean up the code a bit more, to make it more readable. Okay, so let's do it. So as you can see, we have our onCreate method with the only thing it does, it sets the content view, which is good. Then we have our permissions, which is The only permission we're using is the read external storage one. Then we have our request permissions code, permission count, or permission denied. Okay, we cover, that's kind of tidy, I think, readable right here. So we have this music played init, add music files from, fill music list. We have a media player MP, play music file, song position, is the song playing, on resume. So I think everything is very well written, I think. So let's actually go back to the app and check if we can improve something else here. So if we go to the end of this, we can see that we are here. The song is about to end. The song ends, but the pause button is still here, which we don't want. So what we want to happen when the song ends, we want to play it again if possible, right? So when the song ends right here, which is right here, is apart from pausing it, we want to play it from the beginning. So we'll set song position or song position will be set to 0. Okay, that's the first thing. And we will change the position text view, so you can say song position text view dot set text, and we can hard code the 0 right here because it's easier. So we set text to 0, and we want to change the text of the button. So you can say pause button dot set text, and here we will set it to play. Was it play? Yeah, I think so. And now we'll say if is song playing will be set to false. Okay, we have to seek bar also. So seek bar dot seek set progress to song position, which is 0. And apparently it kind of works. So if we go again, I think it should work again. So let me see, if I click on play, on the play button. Okay, if I click on the play button, what will happen here? So we have to set also the MP, the media player, so to the song position. So we can say MP dot seek to song position. Okay, so this is the code we wrote basically right now. This kind of 6 lines. So we will run the app right now and check if that functionality works when the song ends. So let's run the song. Let's seek to almost the end. Let's wait for the end, and let's see if the state is changed. Oops, something odd happened here. We're not setting the right text view. I missed this. I have to set the first and I set the second to 0, so I have to fix that. So instead of song duration text view, it is song position text view. Okay, now I can run the app again to see if it works. So running the app again, clicking on the app, going almost to the end, and let's check if it still works. So 7 seconds to go, let's wait them. Okay, the music stops, this goes to 0, 0, this goes to play, but the seek bar is not set where we want it. So you're gonna play again, and it's there, and it's not working. So you have to set the seek bar too. The problem is that we maybe need to run this on the UI draft to make these changes appear on the screen. So maybe that's the problem. So we'll copy this kind of thing right here. We'll copy them, we will put them here. We will delete the contacts that they have. Okay, we will move all this code inside of this running UI thread bracket. Okay, and now let's run the app to check if it works or not. So let's switch to the almost end and see if it works or not. Okay, so it's set to 0, but the seek bar is not being reset to the song. Oh, I'm setting it to song duration, so this is the problem. So instead of setting it to song duration, this is a dumb error, I have to set it to song position. So this will fix it. So let's run the app again. Let's click here. Let's go almost to the end, and let's see if the seek bar goes back to its original place. So, and it goes back to its original place, it's set to 0. The button is set to play, and I will click on play. And when I click on play, this thing right here is not being updated. Okay, why it's not being updated? Well, simple. Because this code right here is not called when we click on the resume method. So how can we call this? Okay, we need to call all of this again. Okay, so how can we do it? Well, let's see. We can create a method that contains all of this. We can call it outside this kind of global method. So we'll move all of this, I think, to here. I think so. This is. So be careful here. We don't want to select what we don't have to. Okay. Let me see. So I will click this, actually this one, and see where it ends. So on the start one, so we're gonna, from the start line, we'll select it to the top, just before the on item click method. We will copy this code and we will say create a method right here. We're gonna say oh, not here, I'm sorry, it's outside the on resume method. So here we're gonna say private void play song. Okay, and inside this method I will paste everything I copied, and as you can see we have these errors because we are not accessing them from the inner class, so we have to make those kind of global variables. So first of all, we will start with position. As you can see right here, but this position is only called when we do this, so we have to create a parameter right here. So in place song, we can say int position. Okay, we have position right there. Okay, we can actually call all the other methods if we want. So there's one way, one is with parameters and the other is with global variables. So I think global variables is kind of easier in this case, just to demonstrate quickly. So basically we have to create this song position text view, both of them is global variables. So I will create those two text views as global variables. So let's go and press here, private text view. This was kind of a position, song position text view, and also private text view song duration text view. Okay, which is cool. So we now have fixed those problems. we have to also get the seek bar. So where is the seek bar? Where are you? Seek bar, seek bar, seek bar. Oh, right here. So you have to make this also a global variable. So private seek bar. So let's see, make them right here. So private seek bar, I will call it seek bar. And now we have created that variable, which is awesome too. What else? Playback controls, so we're gonna do that too. So private view playback controls. Okay, so private view playback controls. Okay, awesome. And we have, of course, to make it access it. Okay, so playback controls. What else do we have? Let's see. What is in red? So pause button. So I have to create that too. Private button. Pause button, and we have to access it. So make sure you make it global. To make it global, you want to define this declaration right here. So final button, we delete those two words, and now we have this. And now, when we click on item clicked, what we will do is the following. We will say play song, play music, play song, and we'll pass the position. Okay, so that position, how that position will be used. So let's see how is that position used. So music file list, get position. Okay. So we have to also define that position as a global variable, right? So we don't really need this right here. We have to create a global variable. So we will go and create private int position. Okay, but we have to set that position right here. So when the on-click listener right here, let me see here. What we have to do here is delete, of course, this parameter. And outside this, maybe I can use this dot position. No, I cannot do that. So I have to change the name to avoid confusion right here. So I will go and change from position to m position, right? Kind of a m position, and inside here we also can say m position. Okay, m position, just to give it a different name to avoid confusion. Okay, and here right now, before calling play songs, we're gonna say m position equals to position. Okay, which is of course awesome. And when we click on the pause button right here on the play, right here actually, instead of calling mp start, so we're gonna say if mp, so I'm gonna say if mp dot, or should we say mp? Let me see. Okay, song position actually. So if song position is equal to 0, we will go and say play song. And if it's not equal to 0, we will say mp start. So I think this will work. Okay, we will have any options here. So mp dot pause, get duration, this, data source, Dutch. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's okay. So let's try to test if it was fixed. So let's run the application and we will click on it. The music starts playing. I will scroll to almost the end of the song. I will end for the music to stop. Oh, wait for the music to stop. Now that it has stopped, it has been resetted. This is to play and it's here. Now if I click on play, then it starts again. But this bar is not working. Okay, so we have to fix that too. Okay. So let me see when this thing works. We have set is song playing to false. Okay, song position is less than song duration. Okay. So let me see what's going on here. The seek bar is not being updated. Is song playing, so I have to set is song playing to true, which is also set, right? It's kind of a strange error right here. Okay, now it works, so why is this happening? Okay, when I click the pause button, it's not working properly. So maybe there is the key to solve this problem. The pause button is not working properly. So we're gonna do the following. So when the pause button, let me see where is that button. Pause button right here. So if its song is playing, we set it to false. Okay, and if it's not playing, we set it to play. Okay, let me see. If song position is 0, we will play song, otherwise we'll go here. Okay. It's kind of a strange error. I think maybe it's some sort of an off thing. Okay. So as a quick fix for this, what I will do is the following. Okay. So really it's kind of a strange situation here because I don't really know how to fix this. Maybe something is wrong with the code I wrote, I don't really know. But yes. So I think this video is kind of very long right now. And I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I see you in the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome to this new Android development tutorial. This is part 6 of how to make a music player application for Android. In the previous tutorial we almost ended the application. We had to fix really kind of odd bug we had. So if you don't remember, it was the following bug. So if we run the application, so let's run the application. It does a lot of things right, almost everything I would say. If we click on the music file, the music starts displaying, this text view starts being updated. We have also the total duration of the music file, and we have also the pause button, which we can use to pause and play and pause and play, and works great. The issue was when the music ended, so we'll scroll this a bit. By the way, the scrolling feature also worked great. And when the issue was when we end the playback finished, as you can see, it goes back, but when we click on play, this was not being updated. And as I told you, it was kind of not a problem. I didn't figure it out in the previous tutorial, and it was the following. So in the thread right here we're using, the problem is that this eSong playing is being changed from other thread. So to fix this problem, we have to do the following. We have to move this line to just before the song position set to 0. So we have to move the line from here to here, and that will fix the problem. So if we run the app again, we will check if it works or not. So let's run the app with the fix applied. Let's scroll to almost to the end of the song, and as you can see, we're waiting for the song to finish, and it finished. Now we'll click on play, and as you can see, well, sorry, it still is not working. So let me see, maybe I did something wrong here. So is song playing set to true? Maybe I haven't installed it correctly, so let me see. Okay, it should work right now, so let me see. Let's go and play it again. Let's go to the end. Okay, if I click on play, it still doesn't work, so something happened here. Let me see. Maybe this release thing, we don't really have to release this, I think. So we will delete that. And is song playing will have to be set to true, but it's not kind of working, maybe because of the thread. So let me see, let me check again. If I run the app and I click here and I go to the end, then let's see what happens. We can play, pause, and then I click on pause. It actually works, but something odd is happening again. So let's check, and let's try to fix box right here. So maybe the eSong playing thing is not being accessed correctly, you know? So if it's not being accessed directly, maybe we make it volatile. So maybe if we make it volatile, this will be fixed. Let's see. Okay, so making them it volatile and playing it again. Going back to this, and let's check if it works or not. Play, and as you can see, it actually worked. So making it volatile fixes the problem. It's kind of an odd problem, you know? It's kind of a difficult to trace problem because we're messing here with threads, and we have to update these with threads, and we have to also run the main app in a different thread. So let's pause, let's play. It still works. Let's try to end it again to see if it still works. Okay, so we have to test a lot of our apps, you know, even more when they will be released to production, right? So now we're gonna click on play again, and you can see it has been definitely fixed. So to fix that problem, we'll set volatile boolean volatile to this boolean right here, which means it can be accessed from different threads. Okay, so I think that's it for this video. That was the bug we have to fix. This is a kind of short video, but very important one because it fixed the bug. And that's it for this course too. I hope you enjoy it, and I see you in a future course. Thanks for watching. Bye.
So thank you very much for watching the whole video, and please subscribe for more great tutorials.